Hi, Scrubs. I hope you're well.
Hello, you awesome people.
Hello, Starfam.
And welcome back! We are back with a new topic! And I am so excited because we are sort of going back to our old roots, it felt like, when we were planning this episode, because the planning was sort of like when we started. And it felt so nice. And I didn't feel stressed for once, which is even more nice. And this topic is gonna be so exciting. Because if you remember, we've done an episode about the role-playing community, mostly on Instagram and, general role-playing. And now we are touching role-playing competitions. And we, of course, have a guest, only one guest, which is more going back to our roots again. And this guest is none other than Selena Longberg. Welcome!
Thank you,
Welcome.
thank you.
Yay! So happy that you're here. You're gonna be our expert today.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. So, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, my name is Selena Longberg, or it's my SSO name. And I have been at Instagram for a couple of 4 years now, and I have, done a lot of role-playing competitions so far.
How long have you been playing Star Stable?
I started just right after it came to Norway, which I believe was in 2012.
Okay.
So 8 years.
Wow.
It's a long time.
Yeah. So the noob is still TC.
Yes.
Aww. Okay, so you've been doing a lot of. What is important here is that you've been hosting a lot of RP competitions. Some of them are quite big.
Yeah, my first show was quite big.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that at all, so I was quite overwhelmed.
Oh. Well, but it usually has a name. What was the name?
It was the annual Pure Breed show.
Oh. Do you still do it sort of annually?
Yes, my plan is to host this year too, so we just have to wait and see.
What is sort of your favorite when it comes to doing these kinds of competition?
My favorite part is actually seeing all the entries of all the different people in their unique styles. I think it's amazing to see what people do.
Yeah. Oh, great. So, yay, welcome. We're so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
And February. How do you even say it? February. What?
February.
Yeah.
Tisa, what did you say?
February.
Yes.
I'm still weird.
So you don't
February.
pronounce this first R. February.
February.
Oh, wow.
February. Yeah, that's hard.
I think I said February rather than Feb.
Wait, how do we say it? February.
February.
Yeah, okay. It's February. Okay, yeah, never mind.
I skipped the
month
R.
has passed.
Yes.
That took way too long. The month has passed. And do you remember the winter we said we never got here in Sweden?
It's arrived now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's here
Yeah.
now. Just 4 or 5 months too late.
Yeah.
And I'm mad. I was
Yeah,
feeling
me
like
too.
Sunday, as we are recording, the Sunday that had just passed, it was spring in Sweden.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
hot. Flowers are blooming, and everyone is like, "Oh my God, it's basically April here." 2 days later, snow. It just
It was like,
came.
oh, right, it's winter. I forgot.
So
sad.
that's basically the weather here in Sweden when it comes to February. I have also started to make more Star Stable content on my YouTube channel. If anyone isn't really hanging up, we are going into the segment of update of the month because I realized I never said it. But yeah, I started to make Star Stable content and was very surprised by how big my Easter egg video is now.
Yay!
Has released a few days ago, but I never thought it would be this big. But now it's like, my God, it's like a full-time job just watching that video with all the comments, and I'm like, you
Nice.
people, you know I have a job, right? I can't answer. Ask other people.
Oh, you're famous now. Woohoo.
I don't know anything else. I found the fox once.
Yeah.
Let me be. But it's very fun, and I'm so excited to see all the new people that is now following me. So yay!
It really did create a stir. Like everybody was suddenly
Oh my
nuts
God.
over the foxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like even though it is a big stir, I feel like I still haven't touched the whole community. I feel like there's a big part that still don't know about the fox.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and wondering what the heck is this box that you're talking about, go to my channel. Just gonna do a little bit of
Follow the
advertising here.
links.
Follow
Yeah.
the links and you will find my video. But yeah, so other than that, I've started to play more because the updates for February has been, well, fun. They have been fun and sparked the urge to play more. And other than that, I have been working like an adult. So, not much has happened. What has TC been up to in February?
Because I haven't been making any content, because I still haven't really... I did try doing a live stream, and I put that up, and I did put up my spider location video again, because I was like, I'm gonna leave those two up and just see.
Yeah.
Kind of just to get a gauge of what's going on, and then sort of make a decision, but I haven't completely decided one way or another what I'm doing right now. And,
It's difficult.
so I've been kind of just gone back to trying to play without thinking about creating any content, which has been interesting because I think I'd lost that a little bit in a way, which is kind of sad. And so I've been trying to just go and play for the sake of mucking about. So there's been 2 or 3 occasions where I've just gone on and messed about with the club. Just had a laugh and just like not taking anything seriously, and that was nice because I don't think I've had that in a while. It's always like work.
Yeah. Aw.
So I wanted to get that back a little bit, and other than that, in the same sense that you guys have had here, it's been crazy because we've had 3 storms back to back, and I am not joking when I say like, there was a period of about 2.5 weeks where we had nothing but really strong winds and rain.
Yeah, we too.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
The
Did
wind
get
has been insane.
Yeah.
A little bit of snow, but not like they were making it out like there was going to be this huge amount of snow, and there wasn't. But yeah, the weather's been crazy, just absolutely nuts. So that's kind of what's happened with me recently.
Okay. Well, weather is weather.
Yeah.
We will survive this as well. Cece, what have you been up to?
Well, February 1st, it started well. February 1st, my sister gave birth.
Yes.
Yes, to a beautiful baby boy. A big boy at 4 kilos. So, yes. Yes, some strong years. A really little Viking, and he's adorable. Yeah, so I'm actually really excited, planning to go visit her like next week or something.
And squish those baby cheeks.
Yeah, he's so cute. Oh, okay. I need to change something. I'm gonna cry. Anyway, yeah, I'm really proud aunt.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, otherwise, I've been just working and still stressing about finding a new job. And, but in Starship, it sucks being an adult sometimes. But yeah, I've been enjoying playing as well, and especially recently with the Knapstroopers.
Yeah.
Anyone know how to pronounce that correctly? Yes.
Knapstrupper? I don't know.
Knapstrupper.
I've always said Knapstrupper.
Yeah.
I don't know. No one corrected me in my video, so I think it's right.
Because the one I bought really reminded me of an old riding school pony I used to love, called Bellman. By the way, his name was Bellman, and I was so mad that I couldn't name him Bell Boy, because Bell is only like a suffix choice. So I'm like, so I ended up with Bold Boy. So I'm like, it's okay. Yeah, because he was such a sweet pony. He was imported from Denmark, and we didn't really know which kind of breed he was, but he was kind of spotty, and our best guesses was that he was a Knaupstrupper Arabian mix.
Ooh.
So yeah, it was so sweet. Oh.
So now you got him in the game.
Yeah, I'm so happy. So now I got like my two favorite ponies from my old riding school, Maverick and Bellman, in Stasher. So like, yay, excited.
Yay. Okay, and Selena, what have you been up to?
I've been up to not much really. I've been making edits, of course, and yeah, personally, right now, I'm also like Cici looking for a job. So I'm in that place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult in Norway as well.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we're rooting for you. We know how horrible it is.
Yeah.
And our listeners know because they had to hear us for months.
Yeah.
Or
Sorry.
still hear some of us. So yeah, but okay, so that's February. Moving on to our topic, which is why the listeners are here. I don't know why we keep on talking about ourselves. Maybe they're bored.
Not?
Nah. Okay, so yes, role-playing competitions. Let's start because there were some questions going like, what is this even? So there is of course a part of the community that has missed this phenomenon. So Selena, could you please answer what are RP competitions?
So basically, it's what it says. It's a role-playing show. We pretend by making, in this case, we make edits of screenshots we do of in-game horses. And then we make it look like more realistic, like if you're entering a show jumping competition, you make it jump and such, add things like audience, and you write a realistic caption of how it went and such, and then it's a judge. And they judge how everyone did and make a list, and yeah, it's pretty close to what you do in real life, but you're actually not riding a horse.
Yeah. Okay. So for those who listen to the role playing sort of episode, they know about the role playing part, but what makes this very special is that someone is sort of hosting a competition where people contribute with edits and stories, and they're RPing together and compete.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. I love it. It's like watching a reality show on Instagram. So yeah, and I just a note for TC. Could you please put up maybe some of Selena's edits as like examples?
Yes, if she's happy for me to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can sort of like pop, pop, pop. This is sort of how it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so now we know what an RP competition is. Thank you, Selena, for explaining.
No problem.
So we're continuing now. We're to the part where everyone is gonna discuss. So, what do you think of these kinds of competitions, Cici?
I think they are cool. They seem like a lot of fun. And yeah, I just feel like they are a great way to make role playing more fun, just to spice it up a bit. A biddle? What's a biddle? A little bit. No, I drank too much coffee before this.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This is when it goes down, people.
Yeah, I don't know that much about role-playing competitions, so I'm really excited to get to know more today.
Okay. I have to say, I love them. As I said before, it's like watching a reality show.
Yeah.
Because in a way, I can see so many. Because I follow a few RPs, but these competitions gives me an opportunity to see more. Many creative and talented RPs in one location, because everyone is like using the hashtag as a way to sort of put them all in the competition. So you can follow that hashtag. You can just see everyone's contribution, and it's so amazing how everyone is like so different. And if you click on one, like you go like, oh, this one is pretty. You go in and like go and read. Most of them add stories, which is even better. And then if you like someone's stories, you go to their account and you see like, oh my god, they have their whole story, which is basically how I found Evelyn Birchland, who was the RP guest we had for the first episode. So that is basically how you can find RP accounts by following these kinds of hashtags. You can find new ones. So that's why I love them. TC, what do you think of these kinds of competitions?
Kind of in the same sense that, like, when there is a competition, because you can be following an individual artist, but you might not really be aware of kind of like the bigger picture. And there's been times where I've just gone and seen that somebody's hosting a competition. I'll have a look and I'll click the hashtag and I'll go through and go, oh, like, and I didn't know actually how many people had entered this. And like all the different kinds of styles and storylines and different things. So it's kind of interesting to see how everybody kind of comes together and builds upon that one thing and brings out so many different stories, because some people have very extremely realistic stuff and other people have fantasy stuff, but then continue to do competitions and things like that. So I find it interesting in how they link the competitions with their own stories. So,
Yeah. And Selena, what do you think of this competition?
I love them, of course.
I would be surprised. I hate them.
Yeah, wow.
I just regularly I enter like 2 shows each month, so I do them like all the time. I actually have to make a schedule so I don't miss any.
Yeah. Are there that many shows?
Yes. I'm not able to enter all.
No.
Not even close.
Wow.
So there's so many to choose from, and I love that.
Where can you find these kinds of competitions?
Sometimes you can follow accounts that post shows regularly, but I often find shows when people I follow post on their stories like, "Oh, I'm entering this show, and like you should enter too." And I'm like, "Oh, I have to check that out."
Okay, interesting. So, because I was like, "Oh, there is a show," and I go like, "Finally, there's a show," but there are many of them.
They are happening all the time.
Oh
as
my
we speak.
Wow, as we speak, there are some starting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, this might be bad for me. I might have to move away from my phone. Wow. Okay. So moving on, how do you think these competitions have affected the community, Selena?
I think they have affected in a positive way. Like I said, it brings everyone together. Kind of, you can discover new artists, like you said earlier, like and comment nice things about each other's art, and it's just a great way of boosting their realistic feel of creating pictures of you competing with your horse and creating stories. It's just a great way to express creativeness, and if you don't know what to make, you can like search for a show and like, oh, I want to do that.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, positive. It has affected us positive.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, because I like it because it urges RPs to evolve their art as well and writing skill, because it gives them an opportunity to sort of try to either think out, because they get like what you get at work or at school, you get an assignment. Here you have rules and you have to bring to be able to enter and be a part of the competition, while when you have your own RP you have no such real rules. So here you have to think, how can I contribute the best way? And if you want to win, then you have to maybe evolve in a way. So I think that's a good positive for when it comes to creativity and art for RP's player. TC, what do you think?
I think it's interesting because I think in the sense of how it has affected different people, like I would see sometimes startup accounts occasionally that maybe are starting off the first time and they'll enter a show because it's a way to maybe get their storyline going. Because sometimes I think probably the hardest thing for most people is starting. With anything. And I think once somebody begins something, it gets easier. And I think when people are hosting events, like somebody might be going, I kind of want to do this, but I don't really know what to do. And then when somebody hosts a show, it kind of gives them a structured format, and they'll go, okay, well, I've got to meet this criteria, and I've got to do this. So I think it's a good way for people to begin, and also, as Selena just said, is to develop over time as well. So I think those are the two different ways that I would see how those would affect the community.
True. And CC?
Yeah, I agree with has been said already. And I definitely agree with what TC just said about it's hard to start stuff. I mean, I'm trying to start my RP since we had that RP episode. But I have so many ideas, so I'm not getting started. It's like, But
You should
anyway,
enter a show.
yeah, maybe I should.
You should enter.
Yeah, it seems like really fun. And I personally want to see more fjords out on the competition, so maybe I'm gonna be like the fjord ambassador.
Bring the fjords.
Yes. Like me. But yeah, back to the questions. Yeah, I think it's a very positive thing, especially for the role-playing community. And yeah, it's a big help for your RP story because it gives you a lot of different scenarios. Like entering a competition, it's not only just the edit and the story for just that competition. It's kind of like the training before the competition and then the aftermath of the competition. So it's kind of like there's a lot of things to do, a lot of things to write and be creative. So yeah, it seems really cool.
Yeah. Okay. And this next question is gonna be. I'm gonna leave Selena last for this one because she basically has the answers. So I'm more interested in what can we come up with. What do you think one needs to enter a competition like this? Let's start with TC.
I think if you're going to start entering competitions, I mean, the only thing most of these, obviously, you need at least one horse. In my mind, there's some RPs that have lots of different horses. There's some people who focus on one horse alone. Maybe some people focus on about 3. And I really think to get started, this would just be my advice to anybody that wants to get started, even though I don't do this, but this is what I would say. Like, if you're just trying to get into doing it, the only place I can say is just begin, and don't worry if your editing skills aren't great, because I've seen people who have started out doing edits that are really simplistic things, like maybe just moving the reins with the regular, the screenshot that they'll take in the game, and maybe just moving the reins, maybe just moving their character, but not doing anything else. And maybe 6 months down the line, they're drawing the mane and the tail, they're changing their own hair, they're doing a lot more complex things. So in my mind, I think for anybody to get started, I don't think they should be worried about having really good editing software to start out with. I think it's just about, maybe even to begin with, is figure out the positioning, look at like realistic photographs maybe even of people doing events, and like try and position yourself whenever you're taking the screenshot and plan out what you're going to do before you go and do it. I think that's probably some of the things that I would say probably would help.
That you probably would say, you are saying them.
Well, yeah, those are the things that I would guess that would probably help. That's what I mean.
I like it. I have to agree. And I'm also thinking what they need is an idea. And I'm thinking they are getting the idea when they read the rules and how this competition is going to be put up. And they need the skills or they want to develop their skill. Like, you don't have to have the skill, but you want to join this competition, you are going to have to do something that maybe you haven't done before. So you will want to have to do this. And as we said before, like, I feel there needs to be a story. Either you have it already and you feel like, I don't know what to do with this, and you get this and you go like, oh my god, I can do something else, like what TC said before. But I feel like you can't, sure, you can just do a very pretty edit, but I feel like it gets that fully good contribution when you have that story that you make the picture go alive. So that is something. So I feel like you will have the story, and also probably makes it easier to create the edit if you have that story. So I would have to say the idea, they want to develop skills, and a story. So which is the idea basically. Okay, so CC.
So yeah, first the basic thing is the edit. So putting down the work and creativity for that. But about the story when you make the entry. I think it's a good thing to maybe take a look at your RP story and take a look at your character and your horse that you're competing with. What are their personalities? the strengths and weaknesses, because that maybe help write the story.
Okay, so now we will basically get to end. Selena, what do you need to enter a competition like this?
Well, basically, for starters, you need a device like an iPad, cell phone, or a computer that you can edit or draw on. And then you need a program. Yeah, there's lots of drawing programs out there. Some are free, some are don't. You just have to find one you like yourself. The most people uses humans and horses from SSO, like they take screenshots, so you need to have the game. But you can also draw from scratch. I've seen many people do that too.
Wow.
And you need Instagram, because most of the shows are on Instagram, so you have to like follow the events that happens. So you need an app, because you're also posting your entries there with the hashtag, so yeah, the judges can see your post.
Yeah.
And many people think you need fancy custom brushes and pay for the fanciest drawing program, but honestly you don't. I started with a cheap one, and I used like my finger to draw in the start. I did that for like 2 years before I got a pen. So everything is possible if you take your time and use, like you said, in real life reference pics. Then you can see how it's in real life and make it more realistic and such. So that's the basic. And I think you don't need that much other stuff. That's basically the starter pack.
Okay, yeah. So
then you're good to go.
About that.
The creativeness, it will come to you if you have that. And if you're interested in horses, of course.
Yeah.
The passion.
Yeah. Basically, listen to what Selena says. Whatever we are saying is probably bungus, so ignore us. So yeah, but it was very good tip. That is actually stuff where I'm like, yeah, you need that too. Yeah, that's a very good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Okay. What would you like to see more of in these kinds of competitions? Let's start with Cici.
Well, since I didn't, before this episode, I just didn't know that much about RP competitions. So I posted on Instagram asking what kind of questions people would like to see answered. And a lovely person that's their name on Instagram is Druid of Jorvik. Commented on it, and I got to interview them a little bit in the DMs. And they said that they would love to see more Western RP competitions. There are some out there, but not as many as
Eventing.
Yeah, eventing and the dressage and show jumping and so on. So yeah, so my answer would be like more different kind of disciplines, like Western, and in Western there are different disciplines. And other than that, like working equitation, gymkhana, horseball, the sky's the limit. There are so many different horse sports out there, so that would be fun to see more variation.
Evelina Birchland who did one with is it called polo?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
I thought
really
that
cool.
was so cool because a lot of RPers then did like group shots where they were.
That was so cool.
Yeah,
that was so pretty.
And yeah, I would like to see more variation because as we've said, it's a lot of eventing. Like it's sort of the same that's going on. And I would like to see just more focused one. There are some that is just focused on dressage, but I would like to see maybe Icelandic shows, Western as you said, or just show. I've also noticed there's like this thing starting now because role-playing is just developing so much right now, and there's like breeding stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to see shows where they're like portray or showing their stallions and mares, or maybe if foals shows. More of that would be nice as to sort of.
There's been a few, but not many. Yes. I participated in one myself.
Oh, so in a way to sort of showcase the stallions, you are that is
Yeah.
up for breeding. Oh, cool!
The most recent show I did was like that. You showed your stallions and mares, and they would either get yes or no for being accepted as for breeding horses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow!
Cool.
There's so much I missed. Okay. Well, that's my contribution. That's already going on. Okay, then Icelandic shows. I want to see more of those. TC,
There's
what would
been
you like?
one, but
Oh, come on! Did I miss that too?
yeah, I participated in that one myself too, because I also love Icelandic horses.
Oh, tag me next time.
Okay.
Thank you. So I see them. TC, what would you like to see more of?
I'd like to see, as kind of what you mentioned, kind of in-hand showing.
Oh, that's what it's named.
Yeah, like you will get foals shown in hand with their mare, with the mare. Usually you'll have them judged separately, but they'll be shown together. And then same thing like with the young stock, like 1, 2, and 3 year olds. And then like under saddle, which isn't eventing or jumping or anything like that. Just actually where you go when you show all the gates. I would like more stuff like that. As well, 'cause I find that kind of interesting. But I suppose like when you mentioned, like I remember the polo picture, like that was really cool because it was lots of different people taking part in that. So I think it's just the variety is probably good too. I think the stallion thing's interesting because when you think of inspections and things like that, where certain horses will go for premium status, that would be interesting actually. If anybody did like a premium register where horses had to prove themselves to be put on the premium register for that.
Ooh. Yeah.
Oh, I got an idea. Oh, distant riding. Has that happened?
Oh,
Yes.
endurance.
Oh, come on.
It's happening. I participated in that like in February actually.
Tag me in all of them so I can find them. Here it's happening.
Oh, I think I saw someone that has like a logging with draft horses.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That-
Like the strong horse
That's
competition.
happening. Yeah, that's happening again now soon. She's hosting it again.
Yeah, so cool.
So keep a lookout.
I will try. I'm gonna go through Instagram. Like I need to find this. So. Okay. So Selena, what would you like to see more of that hasn't happened yet?
I like to see more diversity, like not only eventing stuff, of course. But like you said, you had some ideas like in hand and show in Icelandic, but those are also happening not that often, but they are happening. So we have them too. I'd like to see more of Liberty shows.
Oh yeah.
And mounted archery.
Ooh, yes, that's cool.
That hasn't happened in a while, not that I've seen.
while.
So
Wow.
I'd like to see more of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm happy as it is now, actually.
Still so cool. There's like a whole world we don't know about.
Yeah. Like,
Okay. So yeah, it just appears that this question was stupid. I just need to scam more, or use the internet more. Not scam. That's weird.
oh, that's another thing.
Yeah, that's another thing. Okay, so moving on. Do you think it needs to be levels to enter for those that might have less experience than others? Are there unfair circumstances today? TC.
Well, I think obviously, this is the thing with this situation, right? Because you could host a show and say, okay, you can either enter experienced or unexperienced. And somebody who is pretty experienced could say, I'm going in the experienced categories with a better chance of winning.
Yeah.
So I could understand how some people might not play fair that way, but at the same time, you could also have a show and you could go, okay, I'm going to split it into categories and put people of similar skill levels in.
Yeah.
But then some people might take offense to that if they're in the category that they didn't expect to be in, you know. So it's, in my mind, it's a difficult thing to do. You know, and maybe in one way it's just easier to have everybody in one pool together. And maybe have like an award for somebody that you think is up and coming. Maybe there's somebody that's kind of recently started.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You know, maybe something that's only been editing for the last 3 months, or maybe the last 6 months, compared to people who've been editing for 2 years. You know, because at least then you can sort of look back at their feed and get a rough gauge of maybe how long they've been doing it. So I think it's a difficult thing, and I don't think there's a completely simple answer for that. But that is maybe one way you could tackle it.
Yeah, in a way, I wish I could say yes, but as you were saying, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be too difficult. But I can understand the frustration for those who participate and feel like it's always those kinds of people that win and I never win. But at the same time, I want to encourage you who are sitting there and feeling just like this, that who feels this frustrated, to look at what the winners are doing and try to do the same. Because you are in a developing phase, and if you try to sort of maybe not copying the exact same, but look what kind of style are they using, try to just learn by doing, and and that's how you develop. So
it's kind of the same for life, because I remember when I used to compete like a long time ago. I remember there was like a couple of people who always won. I remember a lot of people started to get irritated because it was always the same person winning. And I sort of thought, well, maybe I should just watch actually what they do and figure out why they do it. And I learned a lot from that. And then there was a competition that I went to, and I won. And I was like really surprised. And they came up and they said congratulations, and they were genuine about it. And they're like, you did that really well. So like in situations, I think it's the same thing. You kind of have to learn to sort of adjust and maybe try different things. At the same time, I think it's also important to keep your own personality, because I don't know if like Selena remembers this or not, but I remember coming across your account when you had like 350 followers, if I remember right. And I remember seeing an edit of an Icelandic horse's head, and I just fell in love with it. It was just the personality and the style and everything. Like, I know it was such a long time ago now, but I remember seeing it, and I was like, I really like that. Like, that just, like, yes, there was other people maybe that you could say were maybe doing something more realistic or whatever, but that wasn't what drew me to it. I was like, there's just something about the personality of this piece that just really clicked with me, and I was like, I want to follow this person. So like, you know, things like that. I think people sometimes go, oh, they're only going to follow somebody who's like, you know, 100,000 followers, or they're going to make this person. And I think people have to remember, and actually that's not necessarily always the case. It's just sometimes connecting with your audience. You know? And I think that's important too.
Yeah. And also to remember that it takes time to develop. It won't happen overnight. And Cici, what would you like to say?
Maybe this will come up in a question later, but kind of like, how does the competitions work? Like, how do you pick a winner and so on? Maybe we will touch that later.
In a way, I'm thinking maybe Selena will answer that. Her questions.
Do you ever do, actually this is a good question, do you ever do marking sheets where you'll say, okay, there's 50 marks for this, and there's 20 marks for this, and there's 20 marks for this? Because I guess if there's like a set way that things are marked, you can justify why somebody got a certain score and why they placed in something as well. Because I know that's a thing in real competitions that people do all the time. To be like, this is why you came here, and this is why they came there. Here's the marking sheet. Don't yell at me.
You know? Maybe something like that would be cool. Like, maybe if you would have if you would host a competition that will be targeted towards a bit more new role players, then maybe you could have like a learning competition, like
it's called unofficial competitions. So you kind of like, you get out there and you compete, but it's more like a training. Competition. And then you can be like, oh, here's you can get an evaluation from the host, like this. I really like this that you did, and these are some points that you might need to improve on. Do something like that. That would be cool if,
like a feedback.
Other than that, I'm not sure about the
idea, because if people actually wanted, because I know that some people want to create art and they don't want anyone to give pointers on things,
but then you will have to be clear about that in that competition, that you will get feedback.
Yeah, I think if you were like, right, we're going to be hosting something where this is where you're asking for feedback and we are giving you feedback, because I remember a really long time ago, I was posting, this was so long ago, I was posting works in progress of horses that I was drawing, and this other artist messaged me. She said, I noticed that you're asking for feedback, but everybody's just being like, oh, that's great. Do you actually want feedback? Yes. And she said, do you really genuinely want me to just, and I said, just tear into it. Just tear it apart, okay? And she did, and I learned so much from her. So much. And I was genuinely so thankful, because then the next thing I did was 10 times better than that one. And after that, I was explicitly clear with people. I was like, no, I want you to tell me why it's awful. Just do it.
And they go like, no, it's nice. It's pretty.
So it definitely helped. So I think maybe something like that might help. But I know that people have to be willing.
Yeah.
What would you say, Selena?
I think it's more fair if there are, like you said, levels. We call it categories. You can enter like non-editor, novice, advanced, and such. And there are also caption classes that are only judged by the text and not the picture itself. They can like write how the course went and be scored by only that. And then there's even animator. Yes, people make animations now.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Cool. I have not been able to do that yet, but we're all learning.
Wow. Wow.
But I haven't experienced any unfair circumstances myself yet.
No.
But remember, there was a show last year. It was a pretty big show. A lot of people were entering. I wasn't able to, and I was so sad. But after the results came in, it turned out that the host has entered the show themselves and was just placing themselves as the winner.
Oh.
So the community blew up, and like I said, it was a big show, so hundreds of people were involved, and was so mad because it was unfair to not. Like the plan for the host was all the time to put themselves first, so it would not mattered who entered or not.
Yeah, okay.
And that's the only time I've experienced something being unfair.
So don't do that.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't participate in your own
especially not with this community. No. Okay. So moving on to, because these kinds of competitions are basically only done on Instagram. I have never seen it on YouTube. Maybe it's there as well. I haven't found it. But would you like to see it in the game? Cici?
Yeah. I don't know how to incorporate it really, but if we look at the game as of now, the only competition is the championships. And they are getting quite old because they've kind of stayed the same for so many years. Honestly, they're getting a bit boring. So it would be cool if they had a monthly, competition where you the one with the best score of the month gets something, or I don't know, just something other than the championships, or just to renew the championships. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would like to see it in the game, but as you said, it's difficult because of especially when it comes to RP competition, all horses look the same and they all move the same. So and there's nothing really wrong, or everything is wrong depending on judge. So I wish there was a way, but we can't go around that this is a game that has it. But what would you say, TC?
Well, I've only really seen competitions done on Instagram. I've seen people RP on YouTube, but not that I'm aware of having kind of seen any actual RP competitions hosted on YouTube. In terms of the game, whenever I first started my club, we used to do, I don't know if we did it last year. I feel like we did do it last year. I think originally we used to do what we called the starter horse show. And it was where you could only bring a starter horse. And we would do a mare class, a stallion class, and a gelding class. And then that was like, then we had like a bareback. And then we had basically tack and... I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. I've completely forgotten it and I don't know why.
Oh no!
You know whenever you have your tack all done up and you go in and you're judged basically on your tack? Your tack and turnout, that's it, right?
Okay.
So we had a tack and turnout class. And then the first year that we ever did it, we had a written undersaddle show, right? Where then any of them could come in and you had to do your walk, trot, figure of eight, counter, and your gallop and all that. And most people hadn't a clue what we were asking them to do. Because it was my club and it was open to everyone else. So the first couple of parts were fine because people did their thing. But then when it got to that part, it was like, if you haven't done ridden shows in real life, then people hadn't a clue what we were trying to do. So we tried to judge it on who did the best one, being the most realistic, but obviously that was a little bit difficult because not everybody knew what we were asking. So whenever we went to do it the following year, we were like, let's simplify this a little bit because people didn't know what we're actually asking to do. That's the closest that I've ever done to having like a realistic competition because we did that. We quite enjoyed that. We usually used to have it like every September, but then I think we like changed it one year and did it earlier in the year. But we try and keep the tradition going. It's nicer now that the starter horses look more realistic.
Yeah.
But it was a way for us to enjoy the starter horses, but also bring in a little bit of realism to it as well. So, yeah, that's the closest I've ever had to in-game stuff.
Okay, and Selena, would you like to see it in the game?
Yes, I would. I've been participating in that's been hosted by clubs. People are sometimes hosting shows like you have to practice a dressage course and then you show up at time and place and do it. Like you're getting called by the club owner of the club that's hosting and they're like, now you can enter and do the show, and they like watch while you do it and all that stuff, and then you like go outside and then the next one comes in and you have to wait till the show is over. So yeah, it's I would like to see that, like if Star Stable was able to make a thing where you could arrange shows like that and people could enter in a way.
Now that you mention it, I have actually heard of games or competitions like this in the game, and I wanted to participate, but I didn't have the time. And I had a friend that did, and he said it was amazing. So
yes.
Yeah, I would like to see more of that.
Yeah, we would.
Yes. Okay, but as we have said, it's not really easy for Star Stable to incorporate this into the game. But what do you think Star Stable could do in the game to make it easier? TC.
I think if they could implement a system where, let's say, your horse had a separate skill set for how they behaved in a particular type of competition, like let's say, whenever they're between the levels of, I'm just going to throw this out, like 1 and 5, they might kind of act like a youngster and kind of misbehave, maybe not do what they're asked to do, maybe not stand completely square, because like I know whenever, whenever you like showing like youngsters don't really want to stand still. They kind of just want to do what they want to do. Sometimes. So I think it would be interesting if they could make it that you could train your horse to behave itself, but there was always that little random factor that maybe just on that particular day that the horse might not behave itself. I think that would be
not
interesting.
today. That would be more mare style, like not today.
Not today. I don't really feel like, but I feel like if we had something like that where you could train your horse, but there's that little randomization factor in that actually the horse might not perform the move perfectly, or the horse might act up or something like that. Because you could apply that to dressage, you could apply it to your show jumping and your eventing. Because I know that plenty of us when we were just doing regular cross country, run into plenty of fences. The horses says, "No, I'm not going to jump that." You know, and in the same sense, if you did an in-hand show, maybe the horse won't trot.
Yeah, but
You know?
not gonna move. Not today.
Or be all crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get asked
and
to leave
gone.
the arena.
Yeah.
Leave.
But thank you for your time. Please remove yourself. But yeah, I have to agree. I understand it is hard to make it like a realistic show if you're thinking in-hand shows and stuff. But I would love to see a feature being upgraded so it at least would be more useful for events like this. And I'm thinking of the lead feature. Make it possible for us to trot up with our horse.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Because then it would be so much
That
fun.
would be Yeah.
So that's the only contribution I had. Cece?
I would like to see more updated equipments in different styles, because as of now we have the show jumping saddle that has been updated to the latest graphics. But what about the western saddles, the dressage, the all-round, the Icelandic? Because I think that would help the role-playing community a lot with the edits on Instagram. Because when I interviewed the Druid of Jorvik, they said that it was quite hard with the Western competitions, that it felt like there was more work with the editing because they had to practically go from scratch. But on the other hand, if you would do the eventing and stuff like that, then you have much more equipment in the game to choose from, especially now with the new riding vests and such. They're so pretty. Also, so generally I would say more competition clothes in the different styles, like Western and dressage. And dressage. There was a new dressage set that would look pretty good with the coat. What's it called? A proper dressage coat. But also they must have good stats. If you do an edit, then stats will not matter. I guess. But if you would do the competitions in game, then you really need a good stats.
Yeah, that's true. Selena, what do you think would make it easier?
I think that the championships would be a good starting point. Like, they know how to collect people in groups, and like, now you're starting and the next group is starting right after. And like, I think if they made a dressage show, people could go to a point where the championship host non-playable character was standing with the countdown, and you can just stand there like outside the riding hall, and then instead of groups you would just be put in like group 1 was just one person. That person would be put inside the arena doing their stuff, and the other people would be put in the audience so we could watch it. And when the next person comes, like, you switch, and and it could be a group of just 5 people, so the show wouldn't be too long to watch for the other participants. So I think they are able to do it.
It would be cool. I agree.
Even if, like, for example, let's say you did turn up in at certain hours, you could go in and do the competition. And, like, even if you logged off, you could come back the next day and actually see where you placed.
Yeah, like you get it in the mail or something.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Just like when we have done, like, when you have won, like, you best time of the day or best time of the month.
Yeah.
They already had that system as well. Yes.
Yeah, so I think they have the basic things to just do it. They just need to get into it and like, now we're making it. Let's do it.
Oh boy, I sort of feel sorry for Star Stable for all the things we want them to do. Do it now. All the stuff. Well, we also want story quests and new horses and new tack and new areas and new...
Always.
We want it all.
Imanero. Oh, no copyright, sorry.
Whoops.
Okay, so that was actually the last question for all of us to answer.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're moving for the question that is just for Selena, our expert.
Oh,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. How does the planning of hosting a competition look like for you?
So, it's a long process for me at least, because I want to do it right and not like, oh, you did that wrong and you know nothing about that and such. So, first I get into research of like, if I want that discipline and I don't know much about it, I will do research. And like I said, I don't want to do things wrong and mad. That's the biggest fear. People will get mad.
Yeah.
And then it's like choosing dates, like how far in the future will you host it? Make you a judging sheet, like things you will look at, and how many days. People are hosting shows that go on like for several months, and some are like just one day. So you need to decide a lot.
Yes.
You'll be making a show.
Mm-hmm. Do you have to also take into consideration of when you announce the show and when it start to give in the contribution? How long do you give someone to make edits?
Yeah, in my opinion, 1 month is a good like time when you announce, and the show is like 1 month in the future, so people have lots of time to plan and make the edits.
Cool.
It shouldn't be too long because people tend to forget as well.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
so yeah.
Cool, though. Okay. What is the biggest challenge for you as a host?
The biggest challenge is being not afraid of the bad. Also, there will always be people criticizing you.
Yeah.
Like, if they feel like they did better, people will complain about the results and such.
Yeah.
So the hardest thing is
Bad losers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, people, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
It never looks good though. Like, I just need to say that because, like, when you think when somebody hosts a giveaway, for example, like I've done in the past for like Star Coins or Star Rider or something like that, when people are like get upset and aggressive and angry, it doesn't give a good impression. And if you host a future one, you're probably going to be thinking, like, you know, if that's going to how you're going to behave, I might not accept your entry next time.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
just bear that
same.
in mind
Yeah,
as well.
that is actually a good rule, Selena. You should take that.
Make a
You need
blacklist
to
of all
learn.
the weird people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, nope.
Because
Yeah,
if you
kinda-
think about it in real life competitions, people do sometimes get blacklisted for
Yeah.
really bad behavior, because if
Yeah.
you go in and you are aggressive towards a judge or steward or any of the staff at a show, you can be removed from premises and barred from entering.
That should be a thing
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Kind of like
have
if.
seen that happen.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
who have been put out of the ring. And in one situation where I was at a show, I actually did have to put somebody out of the ring because
Oh.
they started to harass the judge.
Ew.
Oh no.
Oh.
So,
Bad person.
Yeah.
it does happen, and
Not nice.
it leaves a bad impression.
Yeah.
Mm.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't
and
look
the-
good.
Yeah, in this particular situation, this person came back the following year and apologized.
No?
No. Well, that's good. At least better.
Mm.
If it was genuine.
Yeah. No, the person just wanted to compete again.
Maybe, who knows?
Who knows? But okay, do you have any tips for anyone who are thinking of entering a competition?
I'd say the most important is doing your research for the competition, like what discipline is it, and yeah, it's if you want it to be realistic, you have to do research. So start simple, maybe host a one-day show so you don't as much judging, and maybe ask some friends to give your show a shout out so more people will enter if you feel like just 1 or 2 persons are entering. And judge fairly. Stick to your judging sheet. Don't favorize people because they are your friends or anything. Don't look at follower amounts. Just look at your rules, stick by them, and
Oh, those were the tips for the ones who wants to host
yes.
a competition. Yes. Okay. Okay, good. Do you have anything else you would like to say about RP competitions?
I think we have said much about it already, but I think it's a positive way of starting your roleplay, and you'll get a lot of friends. You will discover new artists, and you will just get a really good push into the community very fast. So I encourage people to participate. Don't be afraid to participate. It's a learning process. Your first show will always be like, oh my god, what am I doing now? Like, you will get the hang of it.
Yeah.
So just don't be afraid.
No. That was a very good way to wrap this topic up. Thank you so much.
I have one question.
Oh, okay.
The question is, when you do write an entry for a competition, like, do you have like an example on how it can look like? Or like, I mean, you can't write like, oh, I win, I'm the best. Kind of like, who do you pick the winner based on the text? Like,
by the text, you will have to, like, if you're a host of the show, you will have to look like what they're writing in the caption. Like, did they fall? Did they do any faults during the show? But people that write like, I won the show, like, wow, that's just poor sportsmanship, and I would if I were a host, I wouldn't bother reading that at all, because it's just poor sportsmanship.
This is gonna sound terrible, but when I see the ones who've fallen and they've done an edit of having fell and they're just sat there and they're like, the horse is just looking at them, I'm like, I love those, because I'm like, it's so realistic.
Those are cute.
I love those too.
Now, we don't want a competition where everyone falls off their horse.
No, stay safe.
It's just
Stay
the realism of it.
Even when editing.
Wear a helmet.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you so much for all the expertise. Now I have a whole new world to explore.
Yes, come into the world of wonder.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're moving on to our segment. Oh well, it's our segment of the least favorite of update of the month, which is February. February. Gotta call it February. Okay, which is basically we're saying what was our favorite and least favorite, and give our, not just gonna go like, blah, don't like that. We are gonna go, I didn't like that because, and so that's how it goes. I don't know why I explained that. Anyway. My least favorite this month, because as I said in the beginning, this was a good month. Actually, a lot of good. I had so many Wednesday updates on my YouTube, but it's like insane. The least favorite was the Galentine, because I have to say, when I read Galentine and the news, I was like, oh, this is like a new thing. Logging in, it's like, not really. It is old races. It's just that they changed so that we can do them alone, so that we don't have to be with gals if we don't want to.
I've noticed a lot of people calling it the introvert race.
Yeah, which is hilarious. I did love it though, because I could go and do them without having to go like, do you want to be my friend? Just for like a minute. It's just weird. And then we're not friends anymore. So yeah, the least favorite was Galentine, because I felt like it was hyped, and then it was like, nah. And so, but my favorite was the diary quest that we got yesterday, basically. It's because it is story quest, but as I said, it's like a side story quest that you don't have to do. But I love lore, and this was basically just lore. and it was difficult to find everything, and it was just beautifully done. I loved it so much. TC, what was your least favorite?
My least favorite was also Galentine's. My reasoning is slightly different. I actually wasn't too bothered about the fact that it was the same, because I've actually always kind of enjoyed that day, because it was always, in the past, whenever it would have come out, I would always have done a live stream, and I would have sat for maybe an hour or two or more and just done races with people over and over again to get the whole outfit. So basically, I'm going to set the situation.
Oh, I think I know.
So I went in and I was like to my club, let's all go do the Galentine's race, and everybody was like, right, let's go. So we all like legged it to the race. Go and do the races to start off before we go and do the Grape one. Yeah. And then we finished that. Right, we're okay. Let's group each other. So we grouped, and then we did the race. And then it was like, wait, did you get a heart? I didn't get a heart. I didn't get a heart either. All right, let's do it again, just to be sure. That's when the rage set in.
No.
So I was like, got it. I genuinely was. I know that they did it to make people log in each day. But the fact that I couldn't do it and get it from group really did bug me. Because I feel like that was the whole point of it, in my opinion. And what I enjoyed about it, and actually I did, like, there's been years that I have met people for the first time and just sat and did the races with them and had a chat or whatever. So for me, I lost that, and I was kind of a little bit disappointed. So I didn't really like that, because the outfit wasn't for me, but I did love the effects. That's one thing I have to say. The effects were really cool. I haven't used them because I've only got one of each, and I don't want to waste them. That's the great irony. But I thought the effects were really, really cool. I would like to see them like have things that we could actually permanently put on our horses, maybe like that. That would be neat. So that was a positive out of that. But yeah, overall, losing the ability to do it as a group did not like at all. My favorite update of the month, though, is I have not done the newest one, so I can't even comment on that. But my favorite thing was the addition of the little highlighter markers on the races.
Really? You like that?
Yes, because with so many races changing, especially with Fargrove and that, and the fact that you can see them through rocks and things, it makes racing easier. So for me, I really liked that. I was really annoyed, though, that it wasn't actually on that Valentine's race.
That's true.
Because that one's so twisty. It's like, where am I going? Where am I going? Even though I did it like every day for a week, I still didn't know where I was going.
Same.
Yeah, so the markers would be my favorite thing this month, because they're going to help a lot of people, I think. I think overall they're going to help a lot of people. Like, I know for me, I'm one of those people that raced, so I knew my roots, but then they've changed races, and now I don't anymore.
I don't like change.
Oh, no. Move that tree on Paddock.
It's not that hard to go around.
It is, though.
No, it's not. Just have to relearn. Okay, Cece, what was your least favorite?
I'm gonna choose the Galentine's as well. Yeah, not a favorite. It's such mixed feelings about it, because on one hand, it did get a bit easier if you enjoy solo play. Because you could just, be an introvert and just do the races, then log off.
See, I like that 90% of the time, so I felt like it was the time to make me actually be social.
No.
But on the other hand, like I mentioned before, you miss kind of that feeling of, kind of like a community thing, a group thing. You actually go out and meet people in group there. Or I actually got a really sweet comment on Instagram where I wrote about my mixed feelings about it, and they commented that they were sad because they loved the Valentine's before, because they loved helping new players, just grouped and just helping them a lot. And that was so sweet. And I kind of miss that kind of feeling to the event.
Yeah, it's gone.
And also, like you said, Rose, like the Galentine, it's a new thing, but it kind of wasn't.
Really.
Yeah, it was tweaked, but it wasn't like anything new added. I would have loved to see like maybe some quests kind of like celebrating their friendship on Jorvik. With the Galentines, like the female friends, kind of like Maya and Alex. Maybe like, Maya has made a surprise picnic somewhere, and you help them set up or something. It's a little cute little thing. And and also yes, that there was these 2 races daily. It kind of felt like it was so quickly done. You log in, you do them, and then you log off. Especially for me, my home stable is the Jorvik stables.
Oh boy.
So it really was like, boom, done in 5 minutes. I was like, I want more. But at the same time, the races were kind of cute. So I was like, I don't know. So yeah.
Do you know one thing I'd be curious about? You know the way they did the week, was it the week before with the Fergo races? They were able to see how many times the races were done. To give us their reward. I would like to know, if any of them would tell us, what was the difference in people doing the races in the previous year?
Oh, yeah.
Those 2 races
Yeah, that would be interesting, definitely.
Because I know for a fact that I did those races more in previous years. Even when I'd already got the outfit, I would do it with other people who wanted the outfit. Whereas this year I was like, I'm going to be selfish and just do it on my own.
Yeah, I mean, it was so empty. I mean, previous years were like swamped with people. It was like, wow. But now it was like 5 people at most. It was pretty sad, actually. Kind of like Echo. And then my favorite. I haven't done the latest direct request. No, what's going on? I'm saving them. I haven't had like a big, a good time to just sit down, relax, and play. And they feel like they're good, so I kind of wanna, have like a whole day to them or something, so I can really enjoy them fully. So I'm waiting over that. Oops. Sorry, I kind of hit my mic. I was talking with my hands, and I'm like, sorry, headphone usage. But my favorite
Your favorite?
favorite part, my favorite part. I really enjoyed that they actually did like a cleanup of the game with the quests. That they change most of the beginning parts of the game. Like they fix the sleepover and the chain and which order the quests appear and so on. Because oh god, it was so needed. Like praise Ideen. That was so good.
Was the screenshot you put on Instagram from your alt account or your main
Yeah,
account?
it was from an alt account.
Because I wanted to know.
Yeah, I have 2 alt accounts, and I really love that you now have made like a distinction between the main story quest and the ones that lead up to the main story and the side quests, because that is so needed, and it's one of those things that you really wanted and needed for a long time, but you haven't really thought about it. At least not like an old player like me. But yeah, it's a great help for new accounts, and I actually made a new account to just replay the game from the start right now. So it's exciting to see, like, do all the quests with the new soul riders and so on.
I can imagine. I sort of want to do the same, but at the same time, I don't have the time.
Yeah, me neither, really. But anyways.
Okay, Selena, what is your least favorite of this month?
My list is actually also the Galentine's update.
Wow.
But I'm not too bothered about doing it alone because I'm an introvert too. So like, I feel like I'm rude if I invite people to a group and I don't know them.
Yeah.
Come with me, do this. We're going to do this now.
Just kidnapping people. That's cute.
But I didn't like that we could just do 2 races each day, and it's hard to collect the outfit. I wasn't able to collect it this year, so that's why it's my least favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It would have been good to have the choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And what's your favorite?
My favorite is always when they add new breeds, because I'm a horse nerd and I love collecting new breeds. I'm like, oh my god, there's a new breed! So my favorite is when they... Yes. Yeah. When they added the Knapstrupper. I love the breed in real life, so I was pretty excited.
Yeah, awesome.
I didn't know a huge amount about it actually until you shared a lot in your stories, so feel free to share that now.
I get very passionate very easily about this.
But yeah, I when I saw your stories as well about because a lot of people, I didn't know this because I stay away, but a lot of people were complaining that they looked a lot like the Andalusians, which I do not see. Other than the animations, but body-wise, I do not see it. But I really liked your stories. How you said that the classical type actually has a heritage of PRE horses. So I was like, I can sort of see it.
Yeah.
But I liked how Star Stable made them still look very unique to their own style.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. Our last segment, our monthly wish of what you would like to have added into the game. Us three, as usual, only have one wish, and our guests can have 2. So let's start with Selena. What are your 2 wishes?
My ultimate wish right now is that our character will be updated. I'm so jealous every time I play with the damn Soul Riders. I'm like, I want to look like that. I want to be pretty too.
Same.
I look so awkward when I'm riding with them. Like, I'm just riding here with the pretty girls and like.
That's true. Oh my god.
It is.
We need it.
Drag me along.
We look dead inside.
Yeah. Dear. Yeah.
We sometimes do. I take screenshots and I'm like, whoa, those eyes.
Yeah.
Or like, you look like, what have I gotten myself into? It's been years, but I still do
They never smile, and I'm like, oh.
No. Well, we have that smile, that same smiley that looks like either you're happy or you want to kill someone.
Yeah, it's kind of like that polite smile, like,
I could easily kill you if I wanted to.
Don't you think after all the years though that we've had to do like every chore for every person that lives on Jorvik, we wouldn't
Maybe
be
that's
doing
why.
that?
Oh my god.
True.
That's true.
Well, I agree. Yeah, okay. Okay, what is your second wish?
Like we discussed earlier, I would like more types of realistic competitions. Like, I do feel we have enough cross-country races.
Yeah.
Where you just try to beat your own times. But I would like more dressage, jumping, and Western competitions to train.
Yeah, that would be cool. Good wishes. Yeah, I like it. Cici, what is your monthly wish?
Actually, also shows the updated character. Especially now when I recently made a whole new character. And it's especially when you create a new account, the options are so limited regarding skin tone, the head shape. I mean, the hair, I can understand why it's like a limited option.
But they are also outdated.
Yeah. But yeah, they're so outdated, and as mentioned before, like it looks so old, our character, compared to the new NPCs.
Yeah.
And I also I would just want to see more customization with our character. especially if I was trying to tie into this topic with the role playing, because the edits are amazing. They really have like these really personalized characters with all the different skin tones and head shapes and freckles, birthmarks, hairstyles, and so on. And I would just love to see that in the game. Especially like, freckles would be so cute, have the options like put on them, or, with different hairstyles like shaved, half shaved, curls, like afro hair, straight, long hairs, maybe like different piercings, I don't know. Just something to really make your character your own. Because today it just feels like, I know that there's a lot of other players that has a character that looks like mine. And that just makes like, I'm not a soul rider, I'm just, I just came out of the factory,
Quite literally, I came out of factory.
Yeah. So I just, I really just want to make like my mark.
Okay. TC, what is your monthly wish?
I think in regards, I'm going to kind of relate to the roleplay a little bit, but I also think it'd be an interesting dynamic if when we bought horses, the horses could have a certain type of personality trait. Because like if you take Red Dead just for an example, obviously like some of the horses are a little bit more skittish than others. It's like, oh my god, there's a snake, and then some of them are like, oh, it's a snake, okay. So I think it would be interesting if you could get personality traits, because I know in Horse Riding Tales they also have that, like each horse has 3 personality traits, like sassy, brave, things like that. So you can have a combination of all like the different 3 different ones. So I think that'd be interesting, because you could then it could have effects on how the horse behaves.
That would be cool.
Kind of an interesting dynamic for once they're fully trained. Maybe they're a little bit easier to handle or whatever. Because I just think it would be maybe an interesting kind of way of giving the horses a little bit more, because the thing is, I think with the fact that we're getting so many more horses now, if there is just that little extra added bit of personality that affects maybe how they behave, it will add on to the horse itself and maybe make the horses seem more individual. Because my Vanner isn't going to behave the same way as your Vanner.
Yeah, I would love that. Although all my horses would like be calm and boring. I don't know why. I just go like, oh, you're so annoying. Just stand still. Just stand still and be cute. No, but anyway, okay. Then my monthly wish is just gonna be simple: be able to run while leading the hidden feature. I'm gonna keep that as my monthly wish. Okay, so that was the last. We have hit the ending of our episode. Unless someone has something to say.
Go.
Crickets. Okay. Okay, I wanna thank you, Selena, so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was such an honor.
Oh, it was such an honor to have you on and tell us of this new world I'm gonna go and explore.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, remember to tag me in Icelandic shows, because
I will tag you.
Yes, thank you. I'm not gonna compete. I just want to see. I'm gonna see Iceland. I'm not going there. But yes, so yes, thank you all for today, and thank you who are listening for listening all the way through the episode. And I have no idea what we're doing until our next episode, but it's probably gonna be just as grand and fun as this one. Remember to stay awesome as always, people, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.